ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו. You know, we live in a world of excellence. We beat records that were established, how fast we run, how well we play a violin, and many things, you know. We try to do more. And I think it's very good that we should look forward, push the horizon a little farther away. We can do better than we have done before. I think this brings about excellence in general for the human being on this world. However, in certain things, I think that you have to be careful with what you do. I want to point out one particular thing. It says in the Torah the following, you know, and you will afflict your souls starting with 9 days in the afternoon. It says in the afternoon of the 9th day of Tishrei. You know, the 10th day of Tishrei is Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. It's a day of fasting. It's a day when we are instructed to practice introspection, to look into your inner self. What have you done? Try to make sure that the following year you will improve. You will not commit the same errors to the contrary. You will grow the next year. So our rabbis say that why does it say the 9th day? This is supposed to be on the 10th day. So they say that if you eat on the 9th day, preparing yourself for fasting on the 10th day, they're equivalent. In other words, it's important to eat on the 9th day as important as fasting on the 10th day. Well, I find it difficult to buy the concept. Maybe I don't understand it. How can you compare eating on the 9th day in preparation for the fast to the fast itself? Because the fast itself, it's not only about fasting. It's also about reflection. It's also about examination of what you're trying to connect to God, to come a little closer, to ask for forgiveness from your friends beforehand, to ask for forgiveness from God. How can you compare one with the other? So I thought many a time maybe the following, you know, what the Torah is really telling us is the following. Don't think for a moment that if it is good to fast on the 10th day of Tishrei, which is Yom Kippur, it would be better to fast 2 days. You know, I'm more religious than you. Instead of doing it for 1 day, I'll do it for 2. No, you're obligated to eat on the 9th day. Don't you dare fast on the 9th day as well, because the Torah doesn't want that. And I think that many a time we express our need to be more religious, somehow to do more by insisting on things that are not really mandated by our Torah. I want to refer to one thing in particular. There's something called glat kasher. You can see, I am glat kosher. In most places nowadays, what does glat kosher mean? From what I know, it means the following. You know, we have a shochet. A shochet is the person that is going to kill the animal so that you can eat kosher food. Not every animal can be used for that purpose. It has to have split hoofs. It has to regurgitate its food, you know. There are certain things, only certain animals can be used, but you need the shochet to sacrifice the animal before you can eat it. The shochet also has to inspect certain things, especially the lungs, because many a time there are blemishes in the lungs. So the shochet has to inspect them, and there are certain rules. Certain blemishes don't invalidate the animal as kosher, and others do. So it depends on the decision of the shochet. Glat kasher means the following. That when the shochet starts inspecting one of the organs and he finds any kind of blemish, he doesn't use his judgment to say kosher or not. You take a different animal and that's it. I don't go into doubts. Actually, in biblical times, there was something called tsarat, which some people think it's leprosy, but it's not really. It's some kind of skin eruption as a result, according to our rabbis, of some inner fragility of the person. You know, there's something wrong with him inside, and it expresses itself as a superficial lesion on the skin. So you go to the Kohen, not to a physician, because it is a moral issue. Our rabbis insist. And if the Kohen says, this lesion is tahor, it's pure, you're pure, and that's it. If he says tameh, it's tameh. If he says impure, it's impure. It's the word of the Kohen that decides it. The same thing with the shochet. The shochet tells you something is kosher, it's kosher. Why do we insist on being super kosher? Either it's kosher or it's not. And that's it. Because if the shochet says it's kosher, it's kosher. Why should I rely upon the shochet? Actually, you are relying on the shochet. Because while the shochet is doing the killing of the animal, he can commit certain violations according to Jewish law that will invalidate this animal. Not only trave it, becomes something worse. It's called nevela. And nobody can attest to it. Nobody knows. Only the shochet knows exactly what he is doing at that moment. So I have to rely upon the shochet. Why shouldn't I rely completely? Well, there are people that want to do more. I understand that. But there is a Mishnah that says something. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shiur. These are the things that have no limit. There's no measure for them. What are they? Honor your father and your mother. There is no such thing. I already honored him. I already fulfilled that. Visit the sick. There is no such thing. I already visited last week a sick person. I am done for this month. There is no such thing. There's no limit to that. There's no limit to accompanying a dead person to his last resting place. There's no limit to the study of Torah, finishes the Mishnah saying. That is the most important. There's no limit to that. So I say to these people, you know, you want to be more religious. You feel you want to do more. Because in some Hasidic groups, they won't eat from the shochet of another Hasidic group. Not good enough for this one if you don't have the beard that long, or what have you. Even though he is recognized as a shochet, they put on strictures, additional strictures upon themselves that are totally unnecessary. If you feel you want to do more, you know what? Have empathy for those who are needy. Become joyous when your friend succeeds in something. Join in his happiness. Help the poor. Be a better father. Study more. These are the things that you should do more. Forget about wearing longer tzitzis, something. You know, one pair of tefillin in the morning, that's it. That's it. You don't have to think. You know, I see sometimes people with a mirror looking at the mirror to see if the shelrosh, the tefillin on the head is exactly in the middle, a millimeter didn't move over. You feel more or less when it's in the middle. My late father didn't have a mirror to see exactly where the tefillin, they were in the middle. I think that when we try to accentuate a ritual, maybe it's a lack that we have in other aspects of our life. Try to be, again, I say, a better father, a better son, a better brother. Try to be more compassionate. These are the things that have no limit, and you will become a better Jew and a better human being.